We are live now. I'm pretty sure. Let me just double check. I do this. I've been doing this for almost a year now, and I still have to make sure. Yes, we are live. Oh, there we go.
And then there's that energy that can go, well, maybe not.
Yes, exactly. Let me put the chat here so I can see. Oh goodness. Let's see. Pop chat. There we go. We have Anya in the chat. So hello. And so let's do the intro here. So welcome everyone to the Raven Wolf channel. Happy Saturday morning. I have a very special guest with me today that I'm very excited to bring you guys and present her to you. So thank you, Jenn Royster, for doing the honor to come to my show. It means a lot.
Oh, you know what? I was very touched at the heart that you asked, and it's just awesome to be here with you too, because you have such a beautiful energy. So I know everybody loves your channel. They have to, because you have a good vibe when you come and hang out with me. So yes. Thank you for asking, and it's great to be here.
No, thank you. Like I said, so let me introduce you to my subscribers here. I had it pop. I had it on my browser, but I guess I closed it before we started. So let me see. I have it on my phone because I want to give you a proper intro and I don't want to miss anything out. So
I am. Oh, there you are.
Let's see.
I'm trying to pull this up.
All right. So Dr. Jenn Royster is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, energy healer, visionary, speaker, writer, a radio host of the Jenn Royster Show, which is also streamed on YouTube. I put a link of her YouTube channel, so make sure you guys subscribe. And she's been a popular international radio show in the 6th year, is syndicated through 135 countries to millions of listeners. Wow. Your gifts made the you work with angels, ascender masters, loved ones that has crossover, and you do intuitive paintings, which that's very interesting. I would like to learn more about that. But anyways, pretty much I have awesomeness here. So
we're all sharing the awesomest vibe, you know. Yes. So I think we all reflect that with each other, because I find that, you know, when you have joy coming out, which you have, Anna, you do, and people that are going to be drawn to you, they're going to feel that. They have to, because you do resonate that, and we help each other build that up more and more when we do that. So I love that.
I've been on this community because I was already on YouTube, not making videos, but I was on the YouTube playground. So I know a lot of the people that I know from last year, since before I got spiritually awakened. So it's so nice that they've been following with me and they've been walking this journey with me, and it really becomes your soul family. It really does. And you help each other grow.
Yes, it does. And I think it's so refreshing with everything we're having to process with change right now in the world, and then things that we're trying to get through that upset us, and we don't want to be upset, and we don't want to be the victim anymore, and we want a new life. And I do believe in, I've used metaphysics for years now, and it does shift your reality when you practice, you know, your beliefs.
It does.
What you are. Yeah.
It really does. And
not what you want, what you are.
Yes.
So you can want it all day long, but what are you is what you attract in. So it will shift it. Absolutely.
Yes. So you want to talk a little bit about your radio show, or the show that you get, because it's your radio show that you broadcast on your YouTube channel every Thursdays morning, correct?
Yes. Well, we've kind of grown into a talk show that's video live streaming.
I love it.
It's a talk show. It was radio. We started it in 2010. I started it just simple and didn't even know if anybody'd show up. And I ended up with 7 or 8 people, the very first one I did. And it just kept growing. And then we got picked up on networks. And now we're on Transformation Talk Radio Network, which helps us broadcast everywhere. That's all those countries and all those networks and stations.
So it's amazing everywhere. I can reach so many people.
So then, in 2011, The Horse Behind Me, which was an intuitive painting, it was a message to take it more video. And so that's when I started the video journey. It took a couple of years. I didn't come right into YouTube with that, but I was starting to practice and work with it. And then it goes into what equipment do you need and all that. And
it gets complicated.
It's been a learning. So I haven't really been doing live streaming really for very long, more radio, but now we're doing both at the same time. So, and that's just the Jenn Royster show. And I'm absolutely loving it because the family on YouTube, honestly, is one of my favorites. I don't want to have a favorite, but they are just starting to gather, and they have such a beautiful energy. And you've been there.
Yes, I love it.
They're just the best.
High-vibing energy all around, very supportive of each other. If somebody is having trouble, not only you, but the whole group gather and send love and, try to, give the best advice that we can possibly can. And, it's really loving energy chat. But I want to say that I have to mention this because I wouldn't give any favors, but the community that I'm involved, it's also like that. It's very loving. We help
that's beautiful.
each other out. We help each other grow and learn. And so, yes, it's a beautiful community that I'm involved. And now I'm part of your community. And I'm just I feel very blessed.
And I do too right now, because it feels like that here, because we've expanded and joined, and it spreads it and it grows, and it's the same vibration. So that's beautiful. I just got a big feeling of that. That's beautiful, because I love that. That's what I believe in, that we need to spread out into the world because we support one another that way.
Yes.
That's fantastic. So hello to everybody that follows Anna. She has a great channel here. So it's like a real honor to see and meet you guys today.
Thank you, Jen. We have Dessa Rose, Mystery, Charlene, Jen and Matt, Max, Deborah, Michael, everyone, welcome and thank you. I was going to say, I was actually going to bring up how I actually found you.
Okay. Yeah. How did you find me?
Well, first of all, I really believe that, I just come across information like randomly, randomly.
Synchronicity, right?
Yes. And
universe dropped it right in your lap.
So at the beginning of last year, when I was developing my clairvoyance, or at least trying to see what my abilities was, I came across Archangel Raziel.
Oh, yeah.
And I was looking a lot. I was, YouTube looking for videos for information about Raziel. And there were many. But one of the few videos that pop out was one of your videos about Angel Raziel.
Yes, Archangel Raziel. Yeah, he's an interesting one. And he kind of just popped up into my life too, and was very clear and specific. He's always been an interesting one. And it's funny you say that, because that is probably some of the most popular shows that I do are always about Raziel.
Wow.
I mean, what is it? I mean, we were looking at my team here. We were looking at like, okay, what is it that people are responding to and want? And that one just sticks out so much more. So obviously he had some messages to put out and he's trying to reach. That's the way I see it. If it's popping up like that and it's that powerful, that means a lot of people need what he can help you do, or they're growing that way. So he's the one that is the esoteric secrets and
yes.
I actually, the magic of life.
I pull up on my cell phone the Wikipedia on Raziel, and I want to read a little bit of what it says. So in Wikipedia, it says that he's the angel of mysteries, associated with the Kabbalistic theory. The famous Sefer Raziel, the book of Raziel, the angel, is attributed to the figure, is said to contain a secret knowledge, and is considered to be the book of magic. He stands close by God's throne and therefore errs and writes down everything it's said and discussed. He purportedly gave the book to Adam and Eve after they ate the forbidden knowledge, the tree of the forbidden knowledge. One thing that it was very interesting, okay, here it says, according to some sources, the book passed on through the generations to Enoch. In 3 Enoch, believed to have later become the angel Metatron. So I don't know if you've heard that before.
Yes. Yes. Primarily my work is with angels. I don't know. I mean, I've explored a lot of things, but that is probably what I connect with the most on a daily basis. And so I have done a lot of study of the angels, but Enoch, yes. Yes.
I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, he was Metatron. Oh, go ahead.
No, I didn't know anything about Raziel until I started searching. And like I said, I came across you and I was like, yes, because it kind of gave a lot of confirmation of the things that I find out about Raziel and more, because you bring us so much of a different understanding to angels because you've been working with them for a while. So
that's probably what I have had going on since I was very little. That I, went through my tough times and had to kind of hide it because it would freak people out that didn't understand it. But I don't know why. I feel a bit humble that I have that. And I do work with and connect through nature a lot.
Me too.
Okay, so they will send me the messages that way. So I have a variety of ways, but it's just a natural thing with the angels, and it's always been a beautiful experience. Raziel they all have personalities. They have, believe it or not, for me, they have personalities and they have this strength or this difference about each one. And Raziel, he comes across very, he's the one that will wait till you just stop asking. You have to, you're asking, you're like, oh, this, oh, that, oh, what about? And he'll just let you
figure it out.
And you're sitting there going, are you ever going to answer me? And he'll go, sure. Okay, go do this. And it's like, he'll give you some kind of activity. This is how he's always worked with me. He'll give you some activity to do. And it reminds me of that Karate Kid movie. It always does. The kid, he's like, I just want to learn it. And he goes, go wax the car, on and off. And
it's a process.
Like that. Yes. He wants you to learn by experience. Yes. And then it kind of sinks in, and it does. There is a book of Raziel that was, there's different translations out there.
Raziel.
That was, yes, there's a couple of translations. According to the text out there on it, it was written in heaven. And so anything out there it's considered a translation or a transcription of it. And it was apparently given to Adam and Eve in the garden and all that. These are the things that are written about it. Somebody asked me, well, how do I get that book? Honestly, the way I've understood this with this book, whichever translation you use, is when you're ready to work with Raziel, you will figure out which book or which one you will have. You don't need the book because he has a way of being creative. Trust me. He will be very creative in how he works with you. And he has with me. One of the things that he did with me, which blew me away, I went out to Phoenix to a conference, a spiritual conference. And, you have all the speakers. Wayne Dyer was at that one. And, different people that speak. John Holland, all of them were there. And out in the foyer, they sell their books or their wares and, whatever. Well, I'm walking through the hallway to go to one of the speeches or one of the conferences. And I kept hearing this huge, high-pitched, I don't know what I'm hearing. I'm hearing all kinds of noise. The neighborhood's busy outside here. So I don't know what you might be hearing, but anyway, there was this high pitched noise happening and it was just drawing me to this table of these beautiful bracelets.
Oh, wow.
They had hundreds and she had all these bracelets that were made and each one was for a different angel. And she kept trying them on. I go, no, that's not it. That's not it. And they were all big. And then she ended up grabbing this. She goes, well, I do have one under the table. She grabs it, puts it on. My entire body went into this vibration like I was a bell. I went, oh my gosh. So I take it off. I don't even know that this is the Raziel bracelet at the time.
Oh, wow.
So I take it. I take it off. And she goes, well, let's make sure. Let's try different ones on. And I do that. And none of them did that. So she puts it back on. There it goes again. I went, obviously, this angel wants my attention. Yeah. See, so, it's been crazy. And it does that. Michael does that with me too, a lot. And then that bracelet, I've had it for years. I was like, obviously, this is the one. And then one day it shattered into a million pieces.
Oh, no.
And I was a little bit sad. Like, does that mean you're not going to be with me anymore? No, I just didn't need that anymore. So sometimes we have to practice letting things go. So that was an interesting Raziel story that I had.
I actually heard that story. You told that story before. I heard you say that story, and I still think.
Oh, okay.
But I was gonna say Raziel is I would say Raziel and Metatron, which to me they're kind of the same. That's the only angel that I ever worked with. And it brings me to a great point that actually one of my first comments on your shows, I'm sure, I don't expect you to remember, but I asked you because when I started working with, all right, let me backtrack a little bit. When I first got awakened last year spiritually, I started experiencing things that I never experienced before in my life. Like one day I was at work and I saw a shadow man, but the shadow man did not seem, everywhere I will hear the shadow man is a bad thing, is negative thing, is bad. But I pick up on energy, and I did not feel any negative energy. Like I would have known if it was bad. Like I know myself, and I would have recognized that. And I didn't have any negative, nothing. So, I tried to reach out somebody that I thought, was knowledgeable, and it kind of put a fear on me that, oh no, that's a bad thing. That's really bad. So it kind of made me stop in my growth. And then once I overcame that and I realized that it was a lesson, to trust my intuition, that I know what I experienced, and just because somebody else has a, you know, different experience, that doesn't mean it's the same that I experienced. So I started learning to, you know, that was a lesson for me to trust my intuition. And then when I got over that, I started, you know, Raziel came into my life, and I started working with him. And then another person kind of put fear on me, saying to me, hey, be careful working with archangels because some of them are fallen and they can trick you. And I was like, oh man. Yeah.
I've never had that experience. Different beliefs have fear-based theories, and I wouldn't say there isn't anything out there that can mess with you like that, because I had to overcome some of that too with some of the beliefs I was brought up in, that that's bad, this is, you know, there's just different belief systems, just like there's different opinions and different cultures. What I do is, if I'm not sure, and I've had things show up that I've seen before, like your gray shadow, and some people think, oh no, that's bad. If you didn't feel that it was bad, you can do a clarification. You can. This is what I learned from the experiences, is that if you're not sure and you're getting these different opinions, but you still feel like it's okay, then ask the divine, go beyond. Angels are an aspect of God. You're still connecting that way. But everything has a positive and a negative. Okay. Right. Everything in life does. Okay. That's just kind of how it works. But you can ask for, okay, only allow, with your shielding, only allow the divine, what will lift me through. And if it's still coming through.
Yes. Because
that's always worked for me. I've never had a problem with that. And just like you're doing with your show, that's what I do on mine, is I share my experiences and what I know. And that may or may not be the same for someone else, and that's okay. Yes. But I've never had a problem when I have clarified. And sometimes the other thing that's a great clue on that for, you know, for people listening, or they're new to this, if it's random and scattered and you keep getting a different message and it seems like all over the place.
Yeah, that's not.
Don't go there. Yeah. When it's consistent and brings you peace and calm.
And clear.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It could be that, like, there is some entities, because energy can manifest into a form that can be light or dark. And sometimes when we have a lot of fear, it conjures, and you may have been, and it might be that those people really did experience something negative. Yeah. So not to discount what they said. It's just that they're assuming that everybody's going to have the same experience, which maybe not. And it sounded if that was at the beginning. Yeah, it sounded like if that was at the beginning of your spiritual awakening, it could have been your third eye opening up, and you just weren't getting the clear. You were connecting and seeing something, but it wasn't coming in all the way. That's what it sounds like, out of focus.
Yes, because that was my first question on your chat ever, asking you, I heard about falling angels, how to use your discernment with that. And
I remember that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm remembering the question. Don't remember exactly how you worded it.
Yes.
And I think I probably answered very similar.
Yes, I was about to say that. Yes. Yes, you did.
I guess that's what it is for me. Right. And I've never had, that's what I've been able to trust.
And that's one thing I wanted to share with everyone, because especially when you're just starting to awaken, you know, spiritually, and starting to, I call like baby psychic, when you're a baby psychic and you don't know.
Right.
You're so hungry for information and for knowledge that sometimes we put the trust in the wrong kind of people, and that they can misguide you. And I don't believe it's their intention, because their intention can be a good one to try to warn people. But I really believe it kind of does a discernment. to people that are new to this and that want to learn, because it puts fear on them. And fear, I know the fear, it stopped me from meditating for a while, because I was scared that I was going to see a shadow man when I would close my eyes or something like that.
So here we are, and that's a great thing you're bringing up, because here we are, we're so hungry for that connection and to actually not feel separated from, you know, something bigger than us, or that support that we have in the universe. And then when the fear comes in, what does it do? Puts a wall up, it separates you. Now you feel disconnected and isolated again. And it's like, what is something not wanting me to grow here?
Yeah.
Fear, and people really believe they are, I think, trying to help, if that's their belief and they've had something. Because what happens to me is, if I go into a hospital or somewhere where there's a lot of fear or a lot of sadness, or, you know, because people are in there and they're worried about loved ones, I pick up heavy energy. And sometimes that darker energy can be kind of hanging around somebody, and they like to latch onto that. And that's not to scare everybody. It's just that I don't go into places like that without a shield up, because I'll feel everything. I have to watch it if I just go to the grocery store, because I can feel it. And it's almost like they notice, hey, there's one of those for the other side, you know, or something. And I don't walk around afraid. I just walk around aware.
Yes, aware.
You're aware of your surroundings. You just don't blindly go out there and assume. And clearing off. If you feel that you've gone out for a couple of hours into town in the public, and then you come back and you're all out of sorts, you probably picked up energy off of something.
Yes.
It's just coming from another person.
Yes. Yes.
It's not coming from something else.
Yeah, I feel like that's why it's so important to, I'm sure you do smudge, but I'm constantly smudging my place, my work area before I start the show, after I do a show, before I do a card reading, after I do a card reading. I also have, I have some sea salt in a container in my bathroom, in my shower. So when I shower, I kind of have a little ritual at the end where I scrub with this sea salt all over my body, and I kind of release the negativity that my body have absorbed. So
yeah, no, that's great. That's perfect. I use Himalayan salt. I just like Himalayan. We cook with it, and we just buy it in big bulk. I buy it in like these huge bags because we use it so much.
That's awesome.
But I know, because we cook with it. We use it in our showers and bath. And you know, sometimes in your busy day, some people go, I don't have time to do all that to get it off. All you have to do is go over to the sink and wash your hands in salt.
There you go.
If you're having a busy day or you're at work, you could have a little bit that way, and it'll pull it, because the water and the salt is a conduit that draws and pulls the energy out. So
yes.
I like the sun. Yes. That's why it feels good to be near the ocean, which I kind of like being. I live here by the ocean.
Nice.
So, you know, that's why if, you know, when you go to the beach, and, you know, people that have never been to the beach and they go to the beach, they feel that, because it's salt water.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to say about the whole kind of, to end with that conversation about the whole fear and stuff. My suggestion to everybody is to take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and trust your intuition. If something doesn't feel right, it's probably not. So trust your intuition, and not only from, you know, like you were saying, people walking in your daily life, but on different media places like YouTube. If you go to a channel that doesn't feel right, that the vibe is weird, leave. You don't need to stay there and expose yourself to be absorbing those kind of negative energies. So I think the trick, like you were saying, is to be aware.
Yes, and don't discount your own feelings about it. I think that's one of the things that we do first, when, you know, just kind of the culture of how we've been raised over the last century.
It's completely backwards how we should do things.
It's like, do what you're told, not what you think. And I think we're reversing that a bit, and we're learning how to feel empowered from within and trust that. Because if we were all exactly the same, I don't know, it'd be kind of boring to me. Yeah. But I think that we need the diversity a little bit, and everybody has their talents and what they fall into and why they're here with purpose. And, you know, it's a big question that I'm sure that you hear about, Anna, a lot, is like, everybody wants to know what their purpose is. Yes. The journey
is the purpose.
And you is actually the purpose. Yes. You know, you being, you making sure that you grow. And then when you do that, that's what you're putting out, and that's how you're glowing and shining. And that's what inspires people to go out and do that themselves, because to change the world, we have to change as an individual and stop the blame game.
Yes, that's another reason why I wanted to bring you on, because about the victimhood mentality or victim mentality.
Ugh.
And
it's still out there if you watch the news.
We all been guilty of. So, and I see that a lot, because I see that in my personal life, but not only in my personal life, but, you know, in communities like YouTube and stuff, where I feel like that's a thing that people struggle with, to take responsibility and empower yourself, not to be a victim, but to overcome that and actually become even stronger because of it.
Yes. Yes. And it's part of the process. The purpose is the journey and the process of the ascension that you're looking for, and that connection and that feeling that way. It's not just, oh, my purpose is to have a YouTube channel. That's not really the identity of who you are. It's how you're sharing, and that's how I'm sharing, but it's not actually who we are on the inside.
That's correct.
And the cultures and the beliefs, you know, I'm going to get deep here for a second, because I'm just going to keep it real. But and it's not necessarily every case, because when you go through something really tough, and I've gone through mine, everybody has, but, you know, it's because of what somebody did to you. It's part of the journey to overcome, okay, I don't want to be that anymore. I don't want to feel like that anymore. So you become, you're still attached to things that happened, if it's affecting you when it comes up. I know you think, oh, I'm past that. I'm like, whether it's an ex relationship or somebody hurt you or somebody did something, if it's affecting you and it emotionally gets you riled, or you feel defensive, or something triggers you in your life now, you're still attached to that. You're attached to what you don't want. And victimhood keeps you attached. It keeps you attached to the things that you don't want. Yeah. Because and part of getting rid of victimhood, which is the big part that people have to find a way to, and everybody has their own path, is you're taking responsibility for yourself. Mm-hmm. Let's use medical, for example. It's that doctor's fault, gave me all that medicine, did this, did that. Then take responsibility. What I've done personally with my life is I've taken responsibility for my health, and I don't let them tell me what to do anymore. I'm not against that, but I'm in charge. I'm paying them. You see the difference?
Yes.
Versus, oh, the doctor told me to do this, so this is why it's this way. That's an example. Oh no, they told me to do it like this, but it's not working for you, and now it's affected you. Then it's kind of like, then do what's right for you. And it's a process. It's a process of detaching and feeling like you have to do it. You know, we want to be good citizens. And what I'm not doing here is, I'm not trying to encourage, you know, be rebellious and break the laws and all that. I'm not trying to say that, but I'm saying, when it comes to your own personal life, if you're in relationships and you have a girlfriend or a friend that's like, hey, why don't you do it like this? That's silly. Why don't you wear this? Why don't you change your hair? Why don't, you know, whatever it is. Why are you listening to that? That's making you a victim of somebody else's opinion.
And you're allowing
you're not. It's like I say, I love that Wayne Dyer quote. I'm not your opinion of me.
love that.
I am not your opinion of me. Right. And it's like reminding yourself that you have your own self. You have your own journey. The more you free yourself from victimhood, the more you're taking responsibility. So what happens really quick, I know I know I'm not trying to take over, but I just wanted to get the thought out or I'll forget. I will forget it because it's so big. It's so important. It's so important. As soon as you're taking more responsibility, you are becoming free from victimhood. At the same time, there's that growth on the journey path of people that are like, I'm not ready to be responsible yet. It's just easier if somebody just tells me what to do. I see that with readings. They're like, I've actually had people come in when I had an office. Can you just like do it? Can you just do the energy healing without, they want me to do it all. They want me to just fix it. It's like, well, I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
I believe in teaching everyone how to do that for themselves. I get them going and I do things like that, but I don't. It's like, no, you'll just go right back out there. That's like you detox your body and then you go right down and get McDonald's.
Yeah, exactly.
Productive, yes. You're right. You can put it right back in. So there's a window of when you go from blaming to freedom.
Yes.
And there's that path of taking more and more responsibility for your choices.
Yeah.
So that's the point that I was trying to make sure I wasn't confusing on.
No. And you explain it so much, and I can see that people in the chat, they're really absorbing this information. But when you were talking about it, I don't know, it kind of dawned on me that I feel like a lot of the victim mentality, it also comes from insecurities and from.
But you're not the self-esteem.
Yes.
Yeah, you're not believing in yourself to be strong enough to make a choice. Because
so you have to constantly,
you
need to constantly, tell people, oh, I'm so poor because this happens to me. So people can feel bad and be like, oh, I'm so sorry. So you can feel some way loved or accepted or felt like you matter,
Yes, because that was the way a lot of us were brought up in the cultures and the beliefs systems, whatever it might have been. And it's like, no, you're a bad person if you take care of yourself. You're selfish if you take care of yourself. I was taught that it was selfish to be self-confident and take care of yourself first. And that's what's been the misconception that I see. Because we can do so much more and help others. You think, oh, well, that's just being selfish. I'm not doing anything for anybody else. You're going to not be drained. You're not going to have illness physically, because when your spirit is in alignment with energy, that, the body follows. It's just a house for the soul, and it just continues that way. And yeah, it's a big deal. But, we think, we just don't believe and trust our own self. We second guess it. And that's something to work on and overcome as well.
Yes, I totally agree with that. And just one thing that I do when I'm presented with certain situations, I call that, the universe sends you lessons. To me, everything that you experience is a lesson. Now, I do want to mention this because I brought this before on another channel, and I don't believe that if you were sexually abused as a child, I don't think that it was meant for a reason. Like it was a lesson. That I don't believe that. Those are different situations. I'm talking as, as your daily life, when, when you're presented with certain things, I believe it's a lesson. So to me, the way I managed to turn the victim mentality around, I will see whatever situation I'm presented. I can see two choices. I can feel sorry for myself. And, oh, I'm so poor me. And, I know that gets me nowhere. Or I can choose to see it as, okay, what do I need to learn from this situation?
Exactly.
And try to turn it around like that. So that way, next time, if there's a next time that I have a similar situation presented, I will know how to manage that situation better. So that's how I see it. That's how I do it.
Well, life, when you look at life from a metaphysical point of view, which is what both Anna and I are all about, obviously, the energy behind everything is what I see in life. Everything. Energy can shift and change. But when you take that, oh, this horrible thing happened to me, because this is the school of learning. Earth is like where we learn a lot. Challenging things that happen to us. Yeah. Challenging things that happen are going to happen here. That's the way this planet works. Third dimension, especially. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of focusing more on a fifth dimension life, which is a higher ascension. You don't need all that stuff. But when you have challenges that you've had happen to you, as soon as I was realizing in my own life, wait a minute, what am I supposed to be learning from this? This is very upsetting. This is very difficult. Yes, you feel it. Yes, it's emotional. Yes, it happened. But what can I learn from it? Exactly like Anna said, because that's what I had figured out. And that I truly believe in that, because when I started doing that, no matter what it is, and things will still happen, I find that I get through them much quicker. I'm much stronger, and I'm gaining that strength of trusting. And that has been the way it's been for me for several years now. When I started figuring that out, that was a big catalyst in releasing and being free from victim and letting that be my identity. That's not your identity, no more than, we're show hosts, but that's not who we are.
Exactly. We're much more than that. Yes.
Yeah, that's just something we do to share with you guys. But when we look at, of something that happened to us, is that's our identity, you're staying anchored and attached to it. Yes. It will keep you in that frequency, which is lower frequency, which is not so much what you want.
Yeah.
So we want to detach from that and no more of that. So the more intention you have, and you just say, hey, you know what? I really am ready to be free of that. Life will bring opportunities to you, like Archangel Raziel. You will learn. It's a school of learning in that. So there may be things that come up. So just because it's like, okay, now I'm free, I'm not going to blame anything. That doesn't mean something won't happen to where you can practice the way you are now.
That's right.
Because life will still keep happening,
Yes.
And so I don't know if that made sense, but I think it did.
It did.
It's kind of deep. We're going kind of deep here. But that's what we do on these shows.
Exactly. But no, another clue, or another, I guess a pattern that I noticed with that is that if certain situations keep presenting over and over and over to your life, I really believe that it's because you haven't mastered, you haven't passed the test from the universe, because you keep doing the same thing that is bringing the same results. So like
similar,
relationships, you want certain
why do I keep getting in the same one? Yes, I'm totally hearing you. And I want to add to that, sometimes there's layers and levels to what we're learning. And if you think about it, okay, I got this part the first time I went through it, but then you're back in the same relationship and you're like, why did this happen again? There was more to learn, obviously. And yes, that's true. Or if you keep applying responses and reactions, or whatever it is you do, to the same situations, you're going to get the same result.
Exactly.
That's an Einstein thing right there. It's just, that's a cause and effect thing, which is what she's saying, which is what Anna's saying. But if you look at it in layers, because sometimes when it comes back around with astrology, and I follow a lot of the esoteric astrology, that's about the soul growth. When those retrogrades come in, they're not there to cause havoc in your life. They're actually there to help you come back, review. Ooh, that's working, not so much that. And you can see where you can tweak a little bit before you keep going further down the path. Yes. It gives us opportunity to shift it up. Right now, we're in a Venus retrograde.
Yes.
through into November. So relationships and finances with that full moon coming up on the 24th. Oh, yeah. Hello. Yeah, those are like two very important areas of life for people. Yeah. Well, we're all going to feel that, you know, and it's about not freaking out and calming down and listening.
It's about managing your energy.
Yeah.
Which is
and that's why I did. Yeah, that's why I was, when I was working with angels for the month of October, Archangel Shamuel was coming in for that, because Shamuel is a very calm, peaceful angel that will help you and guide you in life on your journey, one step at a time. Instead of trying to multitask and get overwhelmed, he'll help you focus like, okay, well, let's get a little bit organized. Let's take a deep breath and let's do this and then this and then this. And then you make more progress through something like this. And you can see what you were missing when you were trying to multitask and go in 50 different directions too fast. So that's a very powerful message that I received for this current energy we're in right now that can help everybody when they start to feel those emotions coming up, or oh, you're going to start seeing the truth in some of the relationships that maybe weren't what you thought. Mm-hmm. And then some that you're going to see that are going to be better, finance, you name it. And it can help right now. That's why I kept getting that message to, okay, like calm down. And he always comes through with very calm, peaceful energy. So that's a good one for this month right now.
Yes. Well, we've been already on for an hour. I didn't even ask you how long you have to share with us, but I would like to talk about one more subject, if you have time.
Okay. Yes. Hey, what time are we done? I don't even know. I'm okay. I'm okay for a little bit.
We've been on for an hour and, well, almost an hour. It's it's okay. Gonna be in 10 minutes. Will be an hour, but we can just touch this last point and then we can close the show. Well, I was mentioning before we started the going live that I see a lot of myself in you, and it's just amazing how things, you know, by watching your show, I didn't know that you had a connection with animals, and you know, you get messages from. That's one way, because last year when I was spiritually awakened, I'm not a bug person. I'm still learning. You know, I feel like this journey has helped me. I actually recorded a wasp really close from the other side of the window. So that was a big difference for me, because before I would run away.
She's facing her fears. Did you hear that? She's facing her fears through the glass.
Yes, exactly. The protective glass. And it turned out to be a great video, because I definitely saw the wasp from a different perspective. You know, the wasp, I have to send you that video. It's in my channel. But the wasp was just like chilling, was actually cleaning her wings and herself and her legs. Like, I saw it at very different perspective. And I actually was able to kind of record how I get the message from animals.
Oh, that was awesome. I would like to see that. That's awesome. Yes, I get a lot of, I don't know if you had a particular question in that. A lot of times what you're afraid of in nature might be what will show up, like she said. Yeah, it shows up because there's something we can learn from it. That has been one of a very strong decipher code for me, because when you first are on the spiritual awakening and you're trying to figure out, I don't know if I'm receiving the right message, or maybe you have a hunch, your intuition, and you're not sure, you can ask for some validation. And then you're just really paying attention to what's going on around you. That's a very good example, what she's talking about with the wasp and recording it, that she stopped for a moment and was connecting that's just another living being here in nature. Now, I've had some crazy experiences where when they show up, like, it doesn't matter whether it's a bird, an animal,
yes,
comes in the dreams, an insect, as soon as I acknowledge why they're here, they move on. I had the other day, a cricket, I was on my balcony just enjoying the day, and this cricket just goes and lands, and he's like this at me, looking, and I'm like, okay, you have something to tell me, and he did. And as soon as I stopped and acknowledged and kind of did my homework and research on that message, he turned around and walked off right in front of me. And I'm like, okay, cicadas have come. Dreams will happen. I have them come in dreams, and I always pay attention to that. But the more that I do that, and I kept a journal, I saw what they were trying to show me to do. And they were working with me one step at a time. Then they'll let me know, hey, you're on the right track, or no, you're not, and they'll clarify. So I love nature. I love working in trees. Yes. Trees, plants. Yep. All of it.
It's funny that you said the cricket, because this week I put out I think it was this week where I put the spirit message of a cricket, of grasshoppers. So I was,
Oh, yeah. I've had the cricket a lot. I had cicada a lot. Yeah. They were coming and sitting with me in the chair. And I've never done that before. I've had hummingbirds. I've had, you name it. I mean, I have a lot. I see a lot of feathers. I always get feathers everywhere. And then the other night I dreamed, now this one's interesting. I see in the chat, somebody was talking about a stray kitty. Wow. But I had this crazy dream, and it was a dream about two kittens. And these kittens were like plush and thick. They were beautiful. No kitten I've never seen a cat like this before, but it was very thick and plush. And the eyes were like the anima cartoons.
Oh, wow.
Huge eyes. I went, whoa. It was very specific. So you're looking at these certain things that stick out, like, because I do a lot with dream interpretation too. I'm like, okay, eyes. What are eyes? What you see. What are cats about? What you can see in the darkness. Very shaman-like. Shamans see in the darkness.
Yes.
You can see what's really going on. Cats are very psychically intuitive. They're very connected, and they're very independent as well. But it was these eyes that were, it was fascinating. And they were the most unique cats I ever saw. And somebody said, you got to take one. You got to take one. And I'm holding it. I'm taking a kitten home. So, and that's a new beginning, young, a baby. Just crazy stuff like that. So I will get dreams that are just off the chart like that all the time.
I had dreams where I see actually birds. One time, not long ago, actually, I saw an owl that was I was seeing the back of an owl on a tree. And when I approached it, the head turned around, like, to look at me. So I had dreams like that too. But last year, like I said, I'm not in. Let's put it this way. I learned to see the bug world in a different with different eyes and different respect, for sure.
Absolutely, because we're all connected to the same thing. We actually have a connection, and that's acknowledging and respecting other aspects of everything we're a part of.
Creation, yes.
It's kind of like the web of life, and you're seeing another section of the web of life. And so the web of life is everywhere, but it's just to me, I feel like we can appreciate so much more when we acknowledge and realize, wow, there's messages, and universe, spirit, angel, they're constantly sending us messages. Even people and loved ones, pets that have crossed over, family or loved ones that have crossed over, they want us to be happy, and they want us to make the most of our lives.
Yes.
They don't want you to be sad, and they have joy in that, because love crosses all the boundaries. I mean, I've had my pets that have passed on come and hang out, a lot. And my dog, I have a big Akita. You probably haven't seen that one, Anna. Big dog. Big. She sees all this stuff. She's seeing it.
That's awesome.
And Yeah. So, I mean, but they don't have these restrictions or these fears that get in the way. They just process. Nature isn't afraid like that. Yeah. And so they can teach us a lot. Nature can teach us a whole lot if we're willing to be open to it.
Yeah, last year I started receiving these messages, and like you said, I mean, it's when the animals start acting not like normal, like usual. Like I will be I'll be parking where I will get to work, and then this bird will like come to my window and like things like that. And then I started receiving messages last year, but it was a few months ago where I got my guidance told me, look, you need to put these messages out because they're not only for you, they're for everybody. So that's what I've been doing.
Yes, that's where we have something in common. We have discovered that we have a lot in common with that, because that's how I started mine. Was I just got to share all this incredible stuff. Some people are going to think I'm crazy. Guess what? I had to get over the fear and be the victim of somebody else's opinion of me with that. I had to not worry about if they weren't taking it seriously. If they don't want it, they can move on. I had to just be passionate and be me and put it out there. And if it resonated with someone, then it helped them.
Yes.
And then it's worth it, even if it's just that one person.
Yes.
Even if it's just that animal.
Yes.
Animals will respond to you differently when your energy is higher.
Yes.
I know you got to notice that, Anna. Yes. I know you do. Yes. Anybody else out there notice something like that with the animals? Because if you're resonating a very loving energy, they want to be around that.
Yes. Yes. I can definitely attend to that. And it's funny that you mentioned that, because when I would put a spirit message out, and I love the comments, because then it confirms that, yes, it was meant for a reason, that specific animal message I had to put out. Like people, like with the grasshopper.
Yeah.
Someone, say, oh my gosh, I had a grasshopper that just landed on my windshield, and, things like that it makes me excited to put these messages out. But
absolutely. And it happens when I just trust what I'm picking up with the angel messages. So I am connecting the energies that are flowing through in my show, primarily with energy healing, connecting yourself, angelic, with the angels, or, just working with your intuition to trust it. That's kind of my main focus. But when I'm doing that, I'm listening. What do you want me to share with them on the show? And then I just go about my day and I let them show me through nature, through all this interesting stuff. And it's I love it.
Yeah.
Every single time it happens, it's like the first time. And I'm so excited, like a little child. Like, I just love that. And then when I'm doing a reading for someone, you just do it. Yeah. You don't hesitate. You just do it. And it's the most accurate. And I'm not saying that everything's perfect. Nothing is perfect. No. But, when you just let it flow through you, that is the best.
Yeah.
Absolute best. And you just don't hold back.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see for everybody. And I think that's why we both feel that way. We've been talking about that. And that's why we do what we do. I mean, I don't know if you guys appreciate or know this. I'm sure some of you do, or all of you do. It's not very easy to do all this YouTubing and video stuff. It's a lot of work.
It takes a lot of energy. It really takes a lot of energy. And I found myself that sometimes I'll have to step back for a little bit, for a few days, so I can gain back balance and my energy put back, because it does take a lot. You'll be surprised. It does take a lot of your energy. So
because you're just, and I mean, you just, it's a passionate thing you're doing, and you're doing what you love. So you always have the energy to come back and do it over and over again. And my biggest thing that, before we close out, is that I would want to share with everyone is, what I do, or what Anna does, or what you do, it could all be completely different. And it's okay. It's doing what feels right for you.
Yes.
We're sharing what we've experienced in life, and, what we know. And everybody's different. And so it's finding that path for you.
Yes.
We just share it in hopes that it will help someone find the right path for themselves.
Exactly.
And that we were talking before we went on, and we were realizing how much we had in common with that. And it's really true. I mean, we're not exactly the same, but we are in a way, because we're connecting to the truth of who we know it to be.
Yes,
and
we want to be an inspiration.
For some people, it would be different. Yeah, to just connect with what's right for you. It may not be anything that we talk about, and that's okay too.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never been one to believe that, just do it this way, because I never wanted that. I never wanted somebody to push that on me either.
No.
We just passionately share that. So I just want to say thank you for having me today. I've really enjoyed hanging out with you guys, and great meeting you here and us talking this way and hanging out with your wonderful, beautiful tribe. You have a great tribe and great energy here as well. And I just want to say thank you guys.
Thank you, Jenn. But just to close on that, what you said, there are different ways to follow your path. There's not only one way that you have to go, is that way or the highway. That's not how it works. So
there's people that want you to believe that, but that's not,
that's not how it is. So you guys just keep following your guidance, keep what's true to you, and your path will be revealed. So with all that said, thank you, Jenn, so much. It really means a lot to me that you came to my show and you share your knowledge with us. So you hold on to that. Hold on. I'm going to go offline. But thank you, everyone, for watching. I will see you guys soon. So, yeah. Bye. Have a great weekend, you guys.
Bye.